Hello, everyone, and welcome to this installment of Ask an Attorney Live. And I'm running about 11 minutes late here today, so I apologize for that. It has been a crazy morning, which is not a bad thing. Um, but today I thought I would discuss something that come up quite often, and that is, a couple have been married for a while and they decide to live separately, and life just goes on and happens, and years pass, and they never file for that divorce, so they're still married. What would be some reasons why you might not want to have that happen? um, so the biggest reason I would caution you about is, um, they will consider any child that's born during the marriage is legally the child of the husband. So if you have moved on as the wife to another relationship and you have a child with another man, um, even though you may sign the birth certificate and do some other paperwork with the hospital, unless your husband signs off on paternity that he is not the father, then he will continue to be considered the legal father. Now, husbands, this could be important for you because you could be on the line for some child support for a child that's not biologically yours, um, without having to go to court and getting everything clarified. So, if that ever happens to you, as part of the divorce, you can file a paternity action. So you would actually bring in the biological father into the divorce action as a little sub paternity action within there, so that the um, determined, and we get the correct father identified through the court system, so that we don't have any kind of issues down the line, potentially with any child support. Um, so that's usually the biggest reason. Just go ahead and get that divorce. If you guys are living apart, then it's not a difficult thing. Even if you don't know where the other spouse is, there's ways that you can get what we call a status divorce, which wouldn't necessarily divide property or anything with the children, but you could get something ruling that you are divorced. So the other reason that I just kind of mentioned that you don't want to wait is property. Um, so courts consider that everything that's acquired during the marriage is presumed to be community property. So you've been separated from your spouse for years. You go and you buy a new house with your new significant other. That house is community property. Whatever um, equity is in that house is subject to division with your spouse. So that can run into some dangers. Additionally, retirements, the amount that continues to accumulate, could potentially be um, considered community property, and you may have to divide all the increases in retirement accounts that occur even after separation. Um, so, just some things to think about of why you may not want to keep prolonging that divorce. It does make things a little bit more difficult. Another reason is the longer you wait, the harder it may be to find your spouse, which more difficulty in the courts to get a divorce if you can't find them. There are some things that can be done, but it does increase costs and the difficulty. Especially if you're going to try to do any of this yourself, I would not recommend that at all. Um, I don't recommend waiting for divorce. If you've been separated a few months and you know you're just not ever going to get back together with that person, then just go ahead and file. There's all kinds of resources out there, and of course, we're always glad to help anybody, and we'll answer any questions that we can to help you out. No obligation. Um, we just like to provide the information and help anybody that's out there. Um, so, if you do have any questions, you can always message me here on Facebook. Um, I may take a little bit to get back, check those regularly. So I will respond to you anytime. You can also email me at service@boswelltexaslaw.com, and I'd be happy to answer those questions. Um, and we can also even get you set up with a phone call with me if you just have some questions you want to ask. And there's no obligation with that either. We're just here to provide information and help as much as we can. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we will see you here next week on Ask an Attorney Live.